buying a Beetle. So you've been on Gumtree, eBay, Craigslist, you've found a car, you've called the seller, you're going to have a look at it. What are you actually going to look for? This is a little video about some of the things that I look for when looking at a car, specifically a Beetle. Remember, it's not a how-to, it's just some of the things that I look for. Everyone's different. So when I go to look at a car, there are three main areas that I look at in a car. Number one, rust. Number two, are there any parts missing? Number three, mechanical condition of the vehicle. Now we start always looking at a vehicle by doing a quick walk around, looking for obvious crash damage, missing bits, mismatched paint. As you can see on this vehicle, there's quite a bit of all of those things. Missing glass, etc. On the inside, obvious damage to seats. Does it have an interior? Signs of overspray from a previous respray. Number one, rust. If it's a Beetle, it's probably got rust somewhere. There's not many that don't. Beetles can rust all over, but they do have some problem areas. First one is along the heater channels, which you can see here. The heater channel connects the hot air from the motor into the cabin for heat. They rust from the inside out, as you can see from here. This one's not actually too bad, but still is a little bit rusty. So if you can take the running boards off to look at this, highly recommended that you do that. Next problem area is where the pillars meet the heater channels. They tend to rust out in that area also. If there's carpet there, try and pull it back and have a good look at it. Rust is what's going to cost you money. Now this is an area just here that's probably more specific to later model Beetles, Super Beetles and such. I think they call it death foam rust or something. You can Google that to check that one out. Okay, so once you're in the car, you're looking at the pans, the floor pans. Under where the battery goes is often a place that'll end up being quite rusty. If you can get access to the floor pans under the carpet, do so. Don't be afraid to pull a bit of carpet back to check it out. It might save you some time and money down the track. Okay, you can see the pans. These ones look okay. Here's an area that they will also rust out. You can see that there's been some putty put there, so that's an obvious flag that there's been some sort of rust. And you look from the other side, you can also see the repair. You know, it's not a proper repair, it's just been bogged over. So you're looking for that sort of thing as well. Okay, so the heater channels run along where the running board is. Highly recommend that you take those off if you can. You need to get under there and have a good look at what's behind the running board. They might seem fairly solid until you pull them off and then have a look. You can see the back of this one's starting to deteriorate and crumble, which you couldn't tell with the running board on. Okay, underneath the spare wheel, well, in this Beetle at least, it's another area that water will collect and they will rust. Okay, does the car have any parts missing? So bits like glass, trim pieces, the chrome parts, if they're not there, it's not a huge issue, but it means that you've got to find those parts if you're restoring the car. So you're best off having them to start with. Number three, mechanicals. Okay, so does the car actually start and run? Can it move under its own power? Are there any strange noises, any loud noises, crazy oil leaks and so forth? Bearing in mind that it is a Beetle, so it probably will have crazy oil leaks no matter what anyway. When I first look at a motor and it does actually start and run, I use a tool called a compression tester. What that tells me is how much compression I have per cylinder. I'm looking for obviously good solid compression across all four, but more importantly, even compression across all four cylinders. If one's really low, it tells me that there's an issue with that cylinder and possibly the motor itself, which, you know, is not a huge deal breaker, I suppose. Motors are easier to fix than rust. Also check, does it change gear? Is there slop in the gear stick? Do the brakes work strongly? Do they pull to one side? Are there any brake leaks? List goes on. Anyway, thank you for watching. These are some of the things that I look for when I buy a car. Not limited to everything, of course. Let me know in the comment section below the things that you look for, specifically when buying a Beetle. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.